Clement Apakwe is also a member of the Education Committee of Parliament. Now, the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana has asserted that a recent drought in the northern part of the country exposes the failure of government's one district, one dam policy as it warns of looming food crisis following poor implementation of the program Planting for Food and Jobs. Now, speaking to Starr News, Executive Director Dr. Charles Nyawa says the non-existent irrigation system, despite the one village, one dam promise, shows how poorly the policy and other irrigation plans are implemented.
If we travel across the globe, even desert, countries in desert are using irrigation to support their farming activity. We are importing food from Israel, which is a desert nation. They are able to desalinate the sea water and use it for farming purposes. In Ghana, if you go across the northern part of the country, there are a lot of rivers that when it starts raining, all these waters run into the sea. And anytime government attempts to develop this irrigation scheme, they will do it poorly and about 70% of the money remain in the pockets of the implementer. One village, one dam, no farmer is using it for any agriculture purpose. So what is happening is something that we knew about it, but we failed to address. So our irrigation implementation is very poor. So the total land mass area in Ghana, we have less than 5% being irrigated. If we take the one village, one dam, that one we all know that the dams never served the purpose for which the project was launched. So that one I don't even want to talk about it because when the farmers hear about one village, one dam, the disappointment is so high.
The Peasant Farmers Association is also accusing the Agric Minister, Brian Echampong, of politicizing the phase 2 of the Planting for Food and Jobs program and doing close to nothing different from that of his predecessor.
The Planting for Food and Jobs, the phase 1 was facing challenges, and the former Agric Minister admitted because that one was the input subsidy where fertilizer was subsidized for farmers. But along the line, government itself could not pay service provider for the fertilizers and the seeds that they supply. Apart from that, even the service providers they engaged started supplying low quality fertilizer and seeds. So farmers were no more interested in it. So when Brian came, we were all happy that it was going to build because Brian said he was moving away from that to input credit with aggregators playing the lead, allowing the private sector to mobilize more resources to support farmers to produce with zero interest. So we were all happy. But when it came to implementation, Brian is not doing anything different from what Abass was doing because the only thing he's also doing is fertilizer. And the fertilizer, the quality is not there, the timing is poor, they have over politicized the whole thing, giving the fertilizer to MPs and then DCEs to distribute. What has MPs and DCEs got to the business of fertilizer when we have the directors of agri-posts?
In other stories, the indigenous people of Teshi traditional area have warned politicians against meddling in chieftaincy affairs to prevent conflicts during the Homawo festival. On Monday, clashes between two groups over the Teshi traditional stool led to at least 3 people sustaining varying degrees of injuries, sparking concerns. A spokesperson for the Teshi traditional leadership, Ni Norte Samkuma, has appealed to stool occupants to cease provoking the youth to engage in violence. There is more in the following report by Starr News' Na Moko.
On Monday, 5th August, a group of police officers were subjected to a flood of curses from female priestesses in Teshi. The incident occurred after authorities banned outdoor noise making as part of the Homawo festival activities by the occupant of the Teshi shrine. Calm was eventually restored, with residents returning to their daily routines. Ni Norte Sankuma, chief of staff to the chief priest and spiritual overlord of the Teshi traditional area, shared his thoughts.
We were here yesterday in the morning. We saw a lot of policemen around with military armed to the teeth, with guns, and I can't just imagine, as if we were in a war zone. They pushed us off and they escorted some people to Manjano, of which the municipal chief executives, in the person of Honorable Mordecai Akwashi, we've had a meeting with him and he has told us that because of the volatile nature of the place, it's not going to allow anybody to have access to Manjano. So everybody should perform your custom and your tradition within your jurisdiction. If you are to be here around this time yesterday, you can't be breathing. The tear gas was flowing, the rubber bullets, the live bullets were flowing, and a lot of people get hurt. It is the Wulomo who has to lead, but you can't take the Wulomo's right and give it to his choristers.
You heard a report there by Starr News is now more core. Now, before we go, mobile money service providers have welcomed the latest Bank of Ghana report on the fintech sector, which indicates a positive growth in both transaction volumes and subscriptions. The largest provider, MTN Mobile Money Limited, says the feat represents huge successes in Ghana's advancement of financial inclusion, especially among the informal sector of the economy. As the industry marks 15 years of financial inclusion, Pioneers MTN is looking forward to a favorable regulatory environment that fosters innovation and creativity in the fintech space. Ultimate FM's Ivan Heathcote Fumado has more in this report.
The total value of mobile money transactions for the first quarter of this year, as contained in the Bank of Ghana's fintech report, hit 1.2 trillion cedis. This represents a 37% increase from the 901 billion recorded in the same period last year. General Manager for MTN Northern Business District, Niadote Mingle, points out that the rate of growth since MTN set the pace some 15 years ago demonstrates how digital financial services have created financial inclusion for a majority of the population who were either underbanked or unbanked.
It's been a long journey, a journey which started with us having a very low percentage of banked people, and so this was a journey to ensure most Ghanaians were financially included in the financial sector.
The exponential growth of MTN mobile money services, which now stands at over 15 million active subscribers, has largely been driven by the goal of the fintech industry to lower the barriers that frontally shut out the informal sector, which employs more than 70% of the country's economically active workforce.
You heard a report by Ultimate FM's Ivan Heathcote Fumado. Will bring you the extended version in subsequent bulletins. That's how we end the breakfast news this morning. There's more news when you log on to starfm.com.gh. I am Nurein Abass. Next is the sports team. Enjoy the rest of your morning.